This is a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, Way 31 is rocking all right.
Big Game Friday night. Max Cohan, Trevor Denton.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
It's a Madison County clash between Huntsville and James Clemens. Only one team can remain undefeated in region play. We're about to find out in our Big Game Friday night game of the week.
Well, out in Hazel Green, the 63rd Cotton Classic. The Trojans and Bucks meeting in our rivalry game of the week.
Hello and welcome into Big Game Friday night. Max Cohen here along with Trevor Denton. And Trevor, we are officially off and rolling in region play. And this week, not only big for region standings, but also because we got some classic clashes.
Yeah, that's right, Max. And in our largest classification, you never really know what's going to happen. James Clemens wore the crown last year, but this year, a whole different story. Tonight, Huntsville wanted to be the first team to hand the Jets a loss this season, and that was, of course, our game of the week. So let's not waste any more time and head over to Madison City Stadium. Keep in mind that the Panthers have lost their last 6 meetings with JC. First drive of the game, Huntsville's Will Carter keeps the ball. Max, we got WWE coming to town at the end of the month. Well, that was a power bomb from Tank Azel. He's even got a cool wrestler name. That's my personal choice for defensive play of the week. The Jets take over with good field position, and MJ Gideon punches it in. Some old school I formation bully ball there. Let me tell you, we saw some grown man football at the stadium tonight. Gideon on the carry again. He breaks through a sure tackle, keeps his feet moving, and even with an entire defense on his back, he never actually goes down. Still a little bit of turbulence for the Jets. Jacoby Gill lets one rip off the play action, but Neil Erskine is waiting in the wings to pick it off. His team's so pumped they nearly knock him over there, but the second half fully belongs to the home team, James Clemens. Miles Taylor, better than me reading a prompter as he reads the pass and rumbles towards the student section. Plenty for the students to cheer for tonight as the Jets stay unbeaten with a critical Region 4 win. The Jets taking the dub 32-7.
Yeah, that was the overriding message this week because, you know, we had an emotional win last week with Bob Jones, and you got to move on, and the main thing is the main thing. And, you know, they know the standards, they know the goals that we have, and it's to make playoffs, and every region game is important. So we'll come back in Monday, and we'll forget about this one, and we'll refocus.
The Jets get one step closer to repeating as the 7A Region 4 champs. Great game over there, great performance, really, by Coach McGee and his squad.
Yeah, but you got to remember, of course, the region still wide open. A lot of season left. Let's check in on the other Madison City High School, Bob Jones. Tonight, the Pats looking for their first region win of the season against Grissom. Kelvis White's squad has come out on top in each of their last 3 meetings with the Tigers. On the opening drive, Grissom's Seth Lieburn is back to pass, and he's got his sights set on Isaiah Spencer, but the ball has other ideas, popping into the waiting arms of B.J. Carter. So now it's the Pats' possession, and one thing we know, Johnny Jackson doesn't like wasting any time. On the first play from scrimmage, he hits Caleb Sanders, and no one is even in his zip code as Bob Jones needs just one play to strike first. Their second possession would not go as well. Jackson looking for Colton Wood, but it falls out of his hands and into Jordan Miles for the interception. But the Pats defense would hold tight, forcing a turnover on downs as they hang on to win 50-23.
Of course, there are also some teams in the region that have yet to land in that win column. Both Sparkman and Albertville entering the night 0-3, aside from the unlikely possibility of a tie. One of these teams has to find a win at some point to have a chance, and the odds were on the Senators' side as they've actually never lost to the Aggies, but Albertville was running hard in this one early. Daniel Wright exploding out of the backfield, only to be met by a host of Senators, a Congress, if you will. Sparkman also kept things moving on the ground. Braylon Lawson finds his way out of the herd, out into space for a solid jog, but he too gets hawked down. But what's a football game without some passing? Keaton Williams pulls out the jumper, connecting with Jonathan Rozier. A play like that would help the Senators take down the Aggies 44-20. Let's move down to 5A and check in on another team looking to claim a region title. Yet again, Guntersville's been a dominant program for years.
A rough start for the Generals, who have yet to score more than 7 points in the game this season. We jump in with Jemison up a score, but John Jordan has his eyes on the end zone this time and almost breaks free, but in flies number 12 with a touchdown-saving tackle. The Generals would charge closer, and they go to Jordan again, but this time he's tripped up just short of the end zone, so Lee has to try once more, and the sea of umbrellas on the Lee sideline saying, "Come on, just get in already. We are wet out here." They would eventually get in, but it wouldn't be Jordan. It's Terrell Matthews finishing the drive with 6, and Lee would take the lead with a successful 2-point conversion, but that would be their only score of the night as the Jaguars win 43-8. Over in 6A Region 7, the Muscle Shoals Trojans were hoping to stay on track to take the crown again as they traveled to Decatur, and Scott Baisden's squad was in track star mode early. Jock Green with the quick cut, and he's in the end zone, and I guess, if you score, you might as well take off your helmet so we can see that smile. But he's not the only Trojan that can kick it in high gear. How about Tari Hampton running through the raindrops for a big Muscle Shoals gain? And when the monsoon conditions swept through, he kept at it, taking a gang of Red Raiders with him into the end zone for the Trojan touchdown as Baisden's squad takes down the Raiders 42-7.
Look at that rain falling down. That was definitely a factor tonight. Many had high hopes for Fort Payne to be an X factor this season, but the Wildcats started the year with back-to-back L's. Tonight, they played their first region game of the year against Southside, and in their first meeting since 2021, Fort Payne clutched the first win, 14-13 over the Panthers.
Due to the wacky weather today, we had a double feature at Milton Franks Stadium with the Hartselle-Columbia game that was originally scheduled for Thursday kicking off at 3 p.m. And a less than capacity crowd was on hand to watch this matinee. But hey, at least they got their money's worth. Noah Lee is going to hand it off to Jaheim Pruitt, and he'll take a clear face mask, but even that couldn't stop him on his path to the end zone. A quick 6 for Hartselle, but that was just the start. A few minutes later, the Tigers are in the red zone again. This time, Lee opts to air it out, floating one up for a wide-open Braden Weathers, and before they knew what hit them, the Tigers were up 14, but it would only get worse for Columbia. Still in the first quarter, Pruitt takes the handoff, and like a teacher during the summer, he's off! Nice. Two-hand touch won't stop a touchdown as Hartselle makes it a 3-score game, and we weren't even out of the first quarter yet. Lee still in attack mode, hitting Cole Miles for another Tiger touchdown. That would make it 30-0 in the first. The Tigers would dominate, pitching a 65-point shutout as they hand Columbia their 85th consecutive loss, 65-0.
Well, we've already seen some great action tonight, but Max, I think it's time for us to get a little bit softer. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a valid point you're making, buddy, because when we come back, we're talking about cotton. We got Buckhorn and Hazel Green in our rivalry game of the week right after the break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday Night! You're watching Big Game Friday Night! Go Jets!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday Night.
How do they do that? The J and the C with that?
I'm not sure. We got important stuff to get to. Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everybody. Rivalry games are awesome. There's no other way to look at it. And here in Madison County, Buckhorn and Hazel Green have been meeting on the field every year since 1963.
And Max, this rivalry is so big that it really doesn't even matter what the records are. When they get together, you just have to keep your eyes peeled. Both the Bucks and Trojans entered the night with 2 losses, but hey, it's the Cotton Classic. Anything can happen, and a lot does happen on this play. Shamarion Landrum goes beast mode on the run, breaking tackle after tackle before finally getting dragged to the ground. He is fly like that as they give it to him again, and he finds pay dirt. The Trojans fighting back. Now it's Friday the 13th. Their number 13, Jordan James, finds space before getting slashed down by Xavier Thompson. And the Bucks turn this into the Trojans' nightmare on Winchester Street. An unreal grab by Devin Chapman for the score. Bucks win 29-7. It's a big win because they get to 2-2 on the season.
Well, it feels great. I thought our defense played outstanding all night long, man. Just stop after stop after stop. Blocked the punt and the special teams. And then, we just kept pounding. They had a really good plan defensively. We found some cracks there late to kind of put it away.
Let's check back in on some 5A Region 8 scores tonight. Arab traveling to Brewer, picking up a Week 3 dub. The Knights winning 41-2. 28. While in Region 7 action, Lawrence County set to square off with a winless West Point squad, but that game postponed until tomorrow. Kickoff set for 3 p.m.
How about those Ardmore Tigers? The team is off to a 3-0 start for the first time since 2021. That year, they won their first 5 games and had a chance to get one step closer to matching that tonight as they hosted Fairview. The Aggies also undefeated entering this one and averaging more than 40 points per game. Fairview's Colt Redding on the quarterback keeper, coughing up the ball, and it's recovered by Ardmore's Aiden Ellis. So now they have possession, and they're going to try and air it out. Alex King back to pass, and he's going to throw a bomb to Noah Stafford for the go-ahead touchdown. Only problem is Fairview's Zayden Cruz was not having any of that as he picks the ball off in the end zone. On the following drive, Fairview's Jake Harper shows off his 98-yard dash. Someone check this man's phone plan because he is making a long-distance call. Fairview will go on to win 28-6.
What a run there. Guntersville's had quite the run, winning the 5A Region 8 title last year, but there's some early competition to them this season. Both Scottsboro and Douglas entering Week 3 with unblemished records, but since they were playing each other tonight, something had to give. And they say history repeats itself. The Wildcats have never lost to the Eagles. Would that history continue? This season they switched over from the triple option to the spread, but you can't take the triple option out of quarterback Jake Jones. Stiff arms the defender, rumbles all the way down for the rushing score. Scottsboro's defense also getting it done today. Cash Mateo, cash money on the interception, making the deposit there. And what a lucrative start to the Tyler Van era as they improved to 4-0 with the win. Let's head down to 4A for one of Friday's best battles. Randolph and Westminster Christian. Wildcats trying to mount a 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. Well, that'll get things going a little bit. Houston Scott puts one on the money to Adam Hartman for the big game. Can the Cats get to safety? No, they cannot, as Scott fails to connect on the 3rd and goal. Big stop for Randolph, but down 15-6, Westminster can still make it a one-score game. And in these rainy conditions, we got to show the kicker some love. Westminster's Carson Tinsley knocking one right through those uprights. So a successful scoring drive for them to end the first half. But overall, a successful day for Randolph, 35-9.
Over in Trinity, the Rebels are rolling again, looking to start 4-0 for the 3rd straight season as they squared off with Priceville, and the rain couldn't stop West Morgan. The handoff fools our cameraman and the Bulldogs too, as LaShawn Tapscott rumbles his way through the puddle and into the end zone for a Rebels score. Later, Drew Phillips says, let's see if the rain can stop the pass. The answer, no. Titan Partlow shows off the cannon as he goes downfield for Colby Jones, and the SWAT won't prevent the touchdown as West Morgan strikes again on their way to the 48-0 win.
If we were making an all-name team, I think Titan Partlow would have to get in there for sure. Over in 4A Region 7, tons of teams trying to make a name for themselves. A few already have one region loss already tonight. Both Hatton and East Lawrence trying to avoid picking up that second L on the season. And Hatton was successful, barely pulling out a 22-20 win. Heading into the night, the Eagles' last win over the Hornets came back in 2019. And out in the Shoals, the Wilson Warriors hoping to pick up their first win of the season as they traveled out to Tuscumbia. They wouldn't get it done. The Tigers beat down the Warriors 60-0. Max, I'm tired of watching all these offensive highlights. I love defensive football. Let's spice things up and move to the other side of the line of scrimmage. Why don't we?
Yeah, I'd say that's a possibility. Stick with us. We'll take a look at our defensive play of the day right after the break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday nights.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, look at that. The band over there at Huntsville with a little rendition of their fight song there. Great to hear from them. Well, Max, you've already heard from me. I voiced my vote for Defensive Play of the Week. We've seen so many interceptions win this award already this year, but I want it to be a big hit this week. But you're the sports director. Ultimately, you get the final say. Come on, give me my wish, Max. Please, please.
I think it's the least I could do. So let's just at least take a look at what your candidate is, because I think I might agree with you.
Please. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Our
Yes.
defensive play of the week
Yes.
is indeed Tank Ezel slamming a guy to the ground. Now, you don't see sacks like win in 7 tries against Asbury, defeating the Rams 63-0.
After years at Decatur, Jerry Adcock is in his first season at Whitesburg. The Warriors picked up their first win last week against Brindley Mountain. Tonight, they tried for another one against Collinsville, but they were not successful. The Panthers winning 44-28. I'm still fired up about that hit, by the way. While out in the Shoals, Mars Hill handed Sheffield another loss as the Panthers move to 4-0 with a 62-0 win. No team in the state putting up more points than New Hope.
Yeah, and after the break, we'll show you how Michael Harper's squad fared against Madison County. Stick around.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Panthers!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Everybody braving the rain out there tonight. Welcome back into a rain-soaked edition of Big Game Friday night. At this point in the season, still a number of teams that remain undefeated. Take Colbert Heights, for example, Max.
Yeah, Trevor, it is the first 3-0 start for the Wildcats since 2017, but if they wanted to make it 4-0, they'd have to get through an Elkmont team that beat them last year. Well, they got it done as they win 23-6. Staying in Region 7, it's another classic rivalry. Lauderdale County and Colbert County, who have been squaring off for more than 100 years. But the Tigers have not allowed the Indians to score against them since 2019. They couldn't keep up that streak tonight, but they do keep up the win streak, taking it 21-7.
Another team off to a rough start, the Clemens Colts. They enter tonight's meeting with Rogers at 0-3, but they couldn't pick up any momentum as Rogers wins 28-7.
Scoring is a big part of football, but it's not everything. If you don't believe me, take a look at New Hope. The Indians are the highest scoring team in the state, averaging 70 points per game, but they entered Friday night with a 1-1 record. Michael Harper's squad looking to move to 2-0 in region play as they host Madison County, and plays like this will help. Handoff to Leighton Pohl, and that is going to be all you need to see from him. There is absolutely no stopping him. The guy's wearing yellow gloves because he likes going to work, and the junior makes it look easy on the long touchdown. How about that? I wish I had some of those yellow gloves. I could use them at times like this. But you know what? The Tigers, they would show some fight too. They've got a rumbler of their own wearing number 4, and Keonta Hill breaks free for a big gainer before he's dragged down. But you know, the Indians at the end of the day, they were the one with the number 4 who we all cared about, the one that was absolutely going crazy, just unstoppable on his way into the end zone as the Indians win big again, 48-24. And of course, the excitement doesn't stop tonight. We've got a busy SEC slate tomorrow. Alabama gets things started with an 11 a.m. kick against Wisconsin. It is their first road test under Kalen DeBoer, and then things will get interesting on the Plains as the Tigers try to bounce back against New Mexico, reportedly starting Hank Brown over Peyton Thorne. Kickoff from Jordan Hare is slated for 6:30.
But you can also watch a great slate right here on Wave 31. We'll get things kicked off there with LSU and South Carolina at 11 a.m. Then we got Texas A&M going up against Florida. And finally, the nightcap, the Georgia Bulldogs against Kentucky. The Wildcats looking to rebound after that latest loss to South Carolina. I'm fascinated to see Hank Brown's debut. I mean, Hugh Freeze.
Reported. We don't know this is official.
Reported debut. We'll think we'll see him at some point. We can confidently say that. Fascinated to see that on the Plains tomorrow.
There's a lot of things to be excited about. And of course, we'd like to thank you guys for everything you do. All those people behind the scenes, all of our shooters, all of our EPs, and of course, Everybody watching, thank you for making Way 31 your home for high school football.
Yeah, and to finish things off, as we always do, we're going to show you the top highlights from this fabulous day. I thought it was awesome, this day of Big Game Friday night. So check out the best plays of the night.
Good night, everybody.
You've been watching a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.